Hello and welcome, and thank you for learning about Schools PLP. This video is specific on the Lincoln content for grades 6 through 12. I'm going to log in as a student and show you a physical science course at the high school level, but the instructional design, the course resources, and the feeling of the course are the same for grades 6 through 12. I'm on the website, demo.schoolsplp.com. You would be logged into the school name or district name.schoolsplp.com that they would provide you, and you would log in with your student's login. We have an option to log in as a parent, and what that does is gives you access to all of the data, but it doesn't keep track of the login session, or it doesn't count as time on task, and it doesn't allow you to accidentally take a quiz. So I'm just going to log in as a student. The login as a parent looks identical, but you don't have the option to work on this course. We also remove the message center. The message center is used for communication for the teacher or administrators with the student. And when they send a message, the student is not able to work on the next lesson until they acknowledge that message. They can either check a box that they acknowledge it, or they can reply back in acknowledgement. And then they'll be able to work on the next lesson. We have a latest activity feed here on the right side. In real time, it displays the activity the student is working through, whether it's just activities they're working on or gradable activities, the scores that they're getting throughout. We have a report card tab that brings all the courses together. This is a demo login. Your student's not going to be assigned this many courses. There's a daily activity tab that displays the specific login sessions for each day. We can change the different periods, or you can download that document. And of course, we have the message center. So I'm going to click over here on the overview. I'm going to scroll down to physical science and click on work on this course. So now I'm in physical science. It's bringing me to the last lesson that I was on. I'm going to collapse this for now. But we have all the categories or units for this course. The first topic up here is course resources. We have a pacing guide that when you download shows you all the activities that are expected for the student to complete throughout. There's also a supply list. When I select the supply list, it gives me an option to download this document, and I have it opened up on this tab here. This is the example supply list for physical science. These supply lists can be purchased from us, but they're not required, meaning everything online for the curriculum is 100% online and accessible to complete the course. The supply list just offers materials if the student's going to work offline, more kinesthetic opportunities, and to not always be on the computer. So it's an option and it's not required. So let's come back over here to physical science. I'll collapse the course resources. And again, we have all of these different units here for physical science. When I expand a unit, we have the lessons. If I expand a lesson, we have the learning objects that are used to teach the lesson. Each lesson is developed to fit a 50-minute period, a class period. So they would go through a read it, a watch it, a practice it, and a show it. There's 4 learning objects that teach this one lesson. And they would move through these lessons. I'm actually, as an example, I'm going to come down to this last one, electromagnetism, and expand here. You can see that there's 180 lessons, and that's the same as an instructional calendar or a full year's of work for school. There's 180 instructional days. So let's actually jump in. I'm going to show you lesson 173, 174, 175 as example days that the student would experience in physical science. So this has the read it, a watch it, and a show it, just like before. So let's click on the read it. The read it's going to be the text content allowing the student to read. There's a translation toolbar that can have it read to them. We can also translate it in different languages. Here's the objective. You will analyze circuits and how they determine energy usage. There's a did you know? Why are diamonds the best electrical insulators? Let's click on the answer. They're the best because there are no free electrons to move throughout the crystal. So they're learning about series and parallel circuits. As I scroll through here, I have text and images. Here's my translation toolbar. I can click this button and all of the text will be read. I can highlight parts of the text and have it read.
A circuit is a closed loop through which electrons.
I can also highlight the same text and select the globe, which right now is default on Spanish.
Un circuito es un circuito cerrado a través del cual los electrones.
I can change that by selecting the settings icon and translations, and I can select into this language and choose any of these languages that are listed here. I also have some other icons here that you could play with. There's a dictionary. We can add notes throughout the text. We can add highlights, highlight different parts of the text, and we can bring together the highlights when I select this icon here all in one area. So there's some neat tools to assist the student as they're learning and grasping the information. I'm going to scroll down here on this page, and oftentimes we have a question at the bottom that just assesses do they understand what they've learned. Okay, now I'm going to click on the Watch It, the second learning object for this lesson. Again, all of these learning objects for lesson 173 would be finished in a 50-minute period. This video is taken from Discovery Education. It's not a separate subscription. You just click on it. It would ask you to log in for the first time. Once you log in, it brings you right to the video automatically. And here's a video. It's 2 minutes and 19 seconds. There's also 9 other videos a part of this segment if the student would like to learn further. It's not required for this lesson, but it's an option. I select that tab, and I have all of these videos that are very specific to the lesson that I'm learning. We'll come back over here to the lesson, and now we have a Show It. So now I'm going to demonstrate, the student should demonstrate what they've learned so far. You can see the AK stands for answer key. There's an answer key included as well. So the Show It's not an assessment. It is a time for the student to display what they've learned, to check the answer key, and ensure that they're on the right track before they move on to the next lesson. So this is series and parallel circuits, gives you some direction. Here's the worksheet that they're going to download, and they're going to complete. And if I keep scrolling down, here's a rubric so the student understands what they're going to be graded on. Okay, so now let's skip to lesson 174. And you can see this is just an apply it, and there's also an answer key. So in one 50-minute session, the student should complete this lab, the Circuit Construction Kit Lab. This is a simulation, and it's reinforcing, and they're applying the information they learned from the day before. You will model and analyze series circuits in a virtual simulation. I'm going to download a worksheet that I'm going to work on while I'm working through this simulation. And here are some items and directions during the simulation that I'm going to do. So just to give you an idea of what this looks like, let's actually expand here and here so we can see the data. We'll scroll down a little bit further. And so we drag the wire, the battery, the light bulbs. We can drag all these things out here. We can expand the wire. It tells you that when you connect the red circles, it makes a black circle, so it's connected. I can remove that connection by selecting it and things like that. So I'm going to be working through the worksheet. I'm going to be creating these connections and answering the worksheet. And then when I click on the answer key, I'll have access to the answer key of that lab. And let's just see what that looks like. You can see sample responses, and the answers are in red. Okay, so that would be accomplished in a 50-minute period. The last thing I want to show you, lesson 175, just to bring it all together. You can see that assess it, that's here in building circuits. And there's no answer key, and this is the gradable activity to ensure that they've learned from all 3 of those previous lessons. So the Watch It will still be another video to extend what they've learned, what they've been learning in circuits. You can see the video link there, and then let's click on the Assess It. Okay, so the Assess It is a worksheet. Draw a series circuit and a parallel circuit. So they're going to actually download this worksheet. They're going to complete those assignments, and they're going to look at the rubrics so they understand what they're being graded on. And there's a submission area here where they would upload their document, and they can add any comments if they want. The teachers, of course, also have access to answer keys and things like that to grade those assignments based on the given rubric. And that is the quick overview on what the content looks like for grades 6 through 12 within Lincoln. Thank you for your time.